There's going to be a lot of spoilers in this episode, and we forgot to do any spoiler warnings. So here's one at the very beginning. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Judging Nerd Culture. I'm Ollie.
And I'm Jess.
And this is the first episode of Season 2. We're doing everything the same, except we're in a different place. So
Yes.
it's been so very long since we've done this, and I'm actually extremely excited to finally, hang out and talk about stuff.
Yeah. We are in the new place now, finally, so that's why it's just a white background, and we're standing. we have no desk yet. Our old desk was kind of old and small and cramped, so we have a lot more space in this new apartment, townhouse sort of deal. So hopefully we can soon get things looking a little more professional, or at least have somewhere to sit.
Yes. But for now, this is what we got. We don't even have our usual microphone, so we're going to be using the camera
Yes.
boom
so if
mic.
it sounds awful, you can yell at us, but...
Hopefully it just sounds kind of far away.
Yeah.
But that should be resolved in no time. Today, aside from talking about, what's happened so far in our life, we're here to talk about The Order 1886. No, that's a shit game. We're here to talk about The Order, a less shit TV show.
I don't know about that. Yeah, when, I don't know, it was a month ago or so, just sitting on the couch, and Ollie decided to turn on The Order because that's his shtick. Vampire Diaries, The Order, it all is the same.
Supernatural, it's all right up my alley.
Yes. And I'm not saying they're bad, they're good. They're just, that cheesy kind of like a teen college age drama, throw in some supernatural spice here and there.
Listen, Supernatural, Vampire Diaries, The Order, all of these shows, including all of the CW superhero shows, are just soap operas with slightly better production. That's it. And I love it to death.
It's a good show. When I saw it previewed on Netflix, I was like, okay, well, it's another one of these. I might watch it one of these days, but I was never really in the mood to watch it. But Ollie turned it on, and lo and behold, we watched the whole thing within, I don't know. It was a little bit longer of a span than normal, but that's because we were moving.
I think it was roughly a month for season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But again, that was with moving and all the stuff. Because normally I binge a thing in a couple on a weekend.
Yeah.
So that's, yeah. But yeah, it took a little while, but we got through them all. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the majority of the plot and almost all of the characters. So.
No. The plot was, interesting enough. The characters, I liked 3.
There was only 7.
Okay, I liked 4. I like Lilith, I like Randall, and I like the Magus, what's her name? The lady one. Not the bad guy one.
The Lady Magus?
Yeah,
Vera.
Vera, yeah, from Ginger Snaps. It's a thing. If you've ever seen Ginger Snaps, you know what I'm talking about. Catherine Isabel, Vera Stone, okay, and Hamish. I liked Hamish. I like the Knights of St. Christopher.
And Vera.
And Vera, yes.
Right.
The witches were kind of lame, which is disappointing. Because witches are always either the bad guys or they're just kind of lame.
Well, the thing is that in this one, they weren't super awful most of the time. They're just gross capitalist bureaucracy in the form of witchiness. And I was like,
okay, so the point of the show is this kid, Jack, played by... I have my phone here so I know the names right off my screen. His name is Jake Manley. Manley?
Oh.
Which is hilarious. Jake plays Jack. And he joins this college to get into the secret organization because he believes the man leading the organization the Society of the Blue Rose, I think.
Order of the Blue
Order
Rose.
of the Blue Rose.
That's what's
right,
called the Order.
He believes it's his father, and that the man killed his mom. And some shenanigans ensue. He gets to be a part or an initiate of the order, while also stumbling upon another secret order called the Knights of St. Christopher, which are werewolves.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it starts off with him not understanding that it's about magic. He's just like, oh, this is some Illuminati shit. I'm gonna get in there, and I'm gonna get to my dad and stab him in the fucking butthole or something. But then, immediately, it's like, oh, werewolves and monsters and golems and witches and... Oh my.
Yes. And he meets Alyssa Drake, which is the worst character.
Yeah, I can't say no to that.
The actress, I'm not saying, like, I don't want to be, like, I'm not trying to be, like, rude to her or anything, but I feel like maybe this was her first acting gig, or, I don't know, it just felt very, I don't know, you could tell she was acting, if that makes any sense.
It does. Like, you can tell it was pretend.
Yes. And the chemistry that is supposed to be between her and Jack. and Jack. Wasn't I felt like it was kind of forced. It felt weird and uncomfortable, and like this brother and sister were trying to bone, and I didn't like it.
It was like the chemistry between a gay man and his beard back in the 90s or something.
I guess
it was just not great.
But maybe it's just me, because I didn't ship Alyssa or Jack with anyone. Yeah, because Alyssa, I have to be honest, she's just... I mean, it's not the actress's fault, Sarah Gray. It's not her fault, you know? Mm-hmm. She's doing her best. She just got kind of a crappy role.
Whenever it comes to, like, kind of trash characters, I always blame first, I don't know, producers and executive meddling, then the writers, and then the actor.
Yeah.
In that order.
She's just trying to, be a successful actress, and that, that's understandable.
But then you got given this milquetoast ass.
Yeah.
I'm a good A student. Let's be friends.
Yeah, and it's like my family's rich and they want me to succeed, so I have to like do my best to do this, but also show everyone that I'm not this like uppity blonde girl they all think I am. But in trying to not be the uppity blonde girl that people think she is,
she's the epitome.
Yes, the stereotypical. My family's rich. I don't want to be like them, but I'm still stuck up.
Like there's an episode of season 2 where everyone loses their biggest fears, and her biggest fear was disappointing others. And I'm just like, of fucking course. What else would it be?
Yeah. But yeah, her and Jack, I didn't really ship them just because even though in the show they're supposed to be together, like I said, she was not my favorite character, and he's the main character. When do you ever really like the main character that much? He's fun and he's good enough. It's just I don't know. He's like Harry Potter. I don't ship Harry with anyone either. I don't.
I think main characters like Jack and Harry and a lot of other ones that I can't even think of right now, any action hero, they're meant to be bland enough that you can envision yourself being the hero and following along in the story, which makes them just kind of lame, while the other characters have a very definite personality.
Yeah, that's true. And like, I normally gravitate towards side characters just because they're there to be like relief. Mm-hmm. So my favorite character is Randall and Hamish.
Yes, Handle.
I mean, ship name, I guess.
Let's ship them together. Randall, Hamish, and Lilith are the best, hands down. The Little Order of Werewolves, they're my jam. I love them a lot.
Yes.
That's it.
And it's not just because they're werewolves.
Has a big
bias against the werewolves because we love them.
That might have some influence, but it is not the only reason.
Well, no, because I really dig witches, but these witches are kind of lame. Again. That's why I only like Vera. Well, There is that there in season 2. Is that the one we just watched? Yes.
Yeah.
In season 2, there's a new actress, who's in the Order. I don't remember her name.
Oh,
but she's Lilith's love interest.
Yeah.
And I kind of liked her. She's kind of flip floppy when it comes to her loyalty.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's. I mean, better than a lot of other ones.
Yeah.
So her and Vera are probably the best of the witchy group.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Lilith, because Lilith was at one point a part of the Order.
True. There's a whole lot of that in the show too. A lot of like, ooh, this is a secret that someone was holding about this guy being part of this thing and being a part of that thing and blah 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 blah.
Yes.
Because
it is a secret organization.
Well, yes, but it's also mind erasing powder, so everyone loses their memories a bunch of times and everything's kooky and stupid, and it's just like, okay, this is gonna get dumb and weird, and I'm in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the general premise for the first season is Jack wants to basically murder his dad for having led his mom to suicide by abandoning them or something like that.
I guess so. He was Jack. Oh
Jack.
my god! He was raised by his grandfather after his mother passed, and his grandfather was very determined to have this man killed. So I can only imagine that Jack was raised with
The same.
only the ideas being put into his head that this man was evil and he needed to die.
True. And also, like, I like the grandpa for the most part, but that's pretty bad. That's honestly pretty awful.
Yeah,
Like, to
not
indoctrinate
great.
your grandson to believe that his dad is the person who killed his mom, that's pretty bad.
To be fair, he was not a good man.
Oh no, he was the worst. Definitely deserved to die. But still.
Yes. I don't think it really ever said why or how she killed herself. So there was never that, like, that was never resolved.
Yeah.
Like, there was never any closure for that. But his ex-wife, I'm going to look up this man's name so I don't just keep calling him the man. Edward Coventry.
Coventry.
Is Jack's dad. So his ex-wife, not Jack's mom, but his second wife, I suppose, she is also deceased. But through some shenanigans, they they have this telephone to the supernatural, paranormal world.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls her. It's weird. But she tells Jack to get her other son, her little boy, out of Edward Coventry's house because he will kill his children for power.
Yep. And he does plan to. Also, there's so many things in that little bit that send me off the rails in terms of, like, being annoyed. One, the little brother thing. Like, you see him once in season 2, but otherwise, that's never brought up. That's his actual brother. That's his literal sibling.
His half-brother, yeah. And he doesn't do anything about it. He's like, yeah, who cares?
Who cares? What the- whatever. But second, the telephone that they used to call dead spouse number 2 had been broken the fuck up by the grandpa because he just destroyed it. This magic, holy instrument of death talk. And then
because when he called his daughter, she was like, "Oh, don't kill Edward! I love him."
Anyway.
So it's like he got very angry because his whole life after her death has been to kill Edward, and he did not hear what he wanted to hear.
Nope. But the thing that got to me though was after he destroyed it, he put it back together, just like with electrical tape and shit. Like he just rebuilt it, no magic involved. And it worked. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, I suppose it's a magical device in itself. So if it is destroyed, it just needs to be put back together.
I
Like, I don't know why I keep going back to Harry Potter, but in Harry Potter, when Ron's wand breaks, he just tapes it back together. It doesn't work the best, but you can just put it back together.
I guess once it's magic, you can just keep on magicking. Also, Harry Potter's probably in your head because of all of the news with J.K. Rowling and everything.
Well, I was also listening to the audiobook of Harry Potter because my sister's a huge fan, and I wanted to finally get into it. But reading, I do not have time for. So I was listening to it on my drive back and forth to work. and there's just a lot of nonsense going on with J.K. Rowling, and that's not what we're here about right now.
Yeah, maybe that'll be a different episode. What happens when your most beloved writers are horrible people? A different
Don't
episode.
meet your heroes. Don't even look for your heroes online.
No, I looked up Jackie Chan online one time because I missed him. Oh my god, he's a bad person. I never thought so. It was Jackie Chan. Anyways, don't Google anyone who you like. But yeah, that was a big part of season 1. Is just this weird family dynamic and all of this nonsense going on with magic, just making everything more complicated and more confusing, and eventually, Jack and his werewolf friends, because they obviously, pair up and become buds, trying to figure out how to kill Coventry together. And, that reminds me. There is one instance in which I thought Alyssa having romantic tension with someone was realistic, and that was with Coventry.
Yes.
With Jack's dad was the only time that her romantic tension was actually realistic, and that's hilarious.
Yeah. That actually did work, because she was so wrapped up in him, in his little world, that everything was about him.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. The only time that her character really works for me is when she's like in awe of aspiration. Like, oh, I can be that. I can do that. I can become bigger and cooler. Like, it's very self-centered. But the character, for the while, tends to be more of like a trying to be a good person kind of thing. And I think if they had, twisted her a little bit to become more of a, I just want to be the best, and really focused on her self-growth that way, it would have been a little better suited for the actress, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. When they revealed to Alyssa that Jack was a werewolf, oh my god, she was like, "Ew, a werewolf!" Even though they had fought golems together, they had done a lot of stuff together,
Yeah, that's
special bedroom time stuff. But she finds out and she's really grossed out. And it's not his fault, he's a werewolf.
Yeah, also,
and he's been so helpful. And then she's like, oh, you kill people. And then she killed someone and she's like, how do you do it? And then was like, I need to be a good person and not kill anyone. And then she ends up killing a bunch of people.
a whole fuckload of
She's
people.
a horrible character. She does not have any development at all.
I mean, I guess
she goes downhill.
That's development. That's a dynamic character. It's just not the direction you want it to go in.
I guess.
She's
just really annoying, because it's like, you watch it and you're like, well, you could definitely do things differently, or not be weird, speciesist?
Yeah,
about being a werewolf?
The character's all angry and stuff, but the order itself is very murderous. Very murdery.
She's like, oh, but that's for the greater good. And Jack's like, I'm a werewolf. I kill bad things. I don't get it.
Yeah, his secret order, the St. Christopher secret order, it's all about killing and fighting bad magic. So, if he kills something, it's probably because it wasn't great.
Yeah.
Or it got in the way, which... But either way. I thought the plot of season 1 was a little more compact, a little more, on rails, a little more sensible. Because it was very much a story of Jack getting revenge and learning along the way. And the characters all facilitated that. But in season 2, there was no ultimate evil guy. There was no, this main character has this one aspiration. It was, there's this goal, and I was this one, and I was this one, and just everything get wilder and wilder and wilder. And the stakes kept getting bigger, and things kept getting more complicated. So I personally like that better. I like the kooky, what's happening this week drama, personally. But I think season 1 probably does have a little more tight as far as storyline goes.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have a preference between season 1 or 2?
I think I like season 2 because it has more Randall and Hamish in it.
It does.
And I like that they focus more on Randall in that group, just because it lets you get to know them more. And even though Lilith isn't there in season 2, her character is the reason why you get to see Hamish and Randall more and see their development as people, as Hamish becomes Vera's magic boy.
Also, she is there for season 2, just like the first half.
Yeah.
And then shenanigans, and then she's gone for a bit.
Yes. And then Randall seems to be suddenly madly in love with Lilith, which is kind of like a sudden thing. Like, it does happen kind of suddenly, but is more believable than Alyssa and Jack, who have had 2 seasons to try to be in love.
Yeah. Also, I don't know what it is about the werewolf trio, but I shipped them with pretty much everyone. Like, Lilith and Randall, yes. Randall and Hamish, yes. Hamish and Vera, yes. I'm down for all of it.
Yeah.
They're all great.
Yes, and any sort of intermingling within that little group is a pretty great combo, especially since in a few of the episodes you see Hamish and Randall pretend to be a couple, which is, it's great. It's really funny, but you also, deep down, maybe not that deep, hope that, well, maybe this will become not so pretend, but the unexpected combination of Vera and Hamish actually works really good and is really cute. I think it is really cute. So
it's definitely interesting. I think it's maybe a little power manipulative.
Yeah. And it might be a little forced, but I just think it's kind of cute the way Hamish acts.
Yes, it is very nice. I actually do like it quite a bit. I think the fact that Hamish has always seemed, like, from the very beginning when you meet him, he talks about being a bit old for his station, because werewolves don't tend to live very long. So he's, at this point, weirdly matured, despite being also a child.
Yes.
An emotional university student child that's also 85 years old. He's got issues, and it works very well with Vera, who's just so sure of who she is.
I mean, she's a strong, I don't know if she's middle-aged, but she's a strong middle-aged woman who knows what she wants, knows where she is in life and where she wants to go, and knows who she wants to
have a drink with.
Have a drink with.
But
which is good, because Hamish is an alcoholic.
Horrifyingly bad alcoholic. But it's a hobby, so it's okay. But anyways, it's a lot of those relationships actually do hit pretty well. I still don't know where I stand with Lilith and her new girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm super down for it, but at the same time, the girlfriend character is so wishy-washy.
Yes.
And I don't know how I feel about her.
I feel like in season 3, hopefully we will get some more background on her and some more development, and so it won't be so wishy-washy like that. But like I said earlier, she was really flip-floppy. Like, she was, like, basically in love with Lilith, having a huge crush on her and wanting to tell her all the secrets and everything of the Order when she was trying to keep them secret from her because she was a werewolf. And then when Lilith goes to hell, spoilers, she's like, oh, werewolves suck, I hate them all, they're murderers and wet dog smell gross, you guys suck, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, wait a minute, maybe I do want to save Lilith. And it's like, will you make up your mind? Are you racist or not?
Yeah, she's just flip-flopped a little too much, a little too fast. And I think I understand the purpose of those changes. Like, it's at the points where she changes, it's when she realizes, oh, things that I knew about Lilith weren't exactly what I knew. I thought this, and then it turns out she actually already knew the truth, and she was lying to me a little bit, but it was in protection of me, whatever, blah, 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 and it led her to change her opinion in this way, and then flop in that way. But I think that character in general, that idea behind a character who's that susceptible to shifting, doesn't really resonate with me. And Lilith is such a strong character in herself that I feel like she would, best mesh with someone who's also very strong. Maybe not as forward, but very resolute.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll have to see in season 3 to see if things get better or worse.
Yeah. There is one last character we haven't talked about who's pretty consistent in season 1 and season 2, and she's pretty awful. Gabrielle.
Oh God, yeah.
she's just the epitome of I'm the rich girl.
Yeah, my dad was mean to me, so now I'm mean to everybody else, and it's like, you don't gotta.
She's 100% I come from privilege and I'm going to be part of privilege and privilege is my life. And like she knows.
Yeah, she knows. She knows she's privileged and she doesn't care.
Yeah, she also knows that the order is a bad, shitty thing that's mean to people. That's why she wants to be a part of it. Because she wants to be a bad, shitty person who's mean to people.
Yeah, she wants to be powerful and she doesn't care if she steps on people or kills people to get it.
Yeah, it's just a very unpleasant character all around. And then in the last, 5 episodes of season 2, they're like, also her and Randall fuck, and they love each other, or something, and she's, super committed to the cause and wants to be one of the gang, maybe, who knows?
They try to make her likable, she really just wants to be friends with the wolves now, and, she just doesn't feel like she fits in, and she's jealous of Lilith, and she really does care about Randall, and here she goes to the spirit realm, and you can see her dead father yell at her. He's mean. You should like her now. And it's I still really don't like her. Yeah, she's still an awful person.
Yeah, you can't be a dick from, the start to the end and, with just a window of potential of niceness or, just a sad background, they're redeemed. No. If you're going to redeem a character, it has to be in the OA, the bad kid. Steve.
How dare you call him a bad kid?
He's a bad kid. Jeez. So Steve is, let's say, a problem child. A bit aggressive, a bit of a brute, and a bully. And all around a bad person. And here's the thing. He is, and you know it.
He's not a bad person. He's sad.
Yes, but
it's the same thing that we're saying about Gabrielle. But it's a different situation because he has more redemption time.
Well, not just that. He acknowledges, hey, these are things that I hate about myself. Gabrielle's like, these are things I love about myself. That's the core difference. He hates the fact that he's a bad person, and he knows it.
And he tries his best to get better and talk. We're not talking about the OA, okay? I'm going to get way too into it. But yeah, I feel like if they wanted us to like Gabrielle, they should have given us more time to like her or to have her redeem herself.
Yeah, they need to show her actually have compassion and sympathy, not just for someone who's, she's kind of into, but for people.
Yes.
For whatever reason. So yeah, not the best, but she became a werewolf. So, spoilers. Damn, this has been a bad spoiler episode.
That's okay. The Order isn't, I don't think, a show where people would care too much about spoilers because it's honestly, a show you put on in the background.
True. But yeah, she's clearly going to be a big part of season 3. We're going to figure out what's going on with her. Maybe she'll actually develop into the character she needs to be for redemption to actually matter. But we'll see by then. 2 seasons or 3 seasons for a character to go from being a shit face to a good character seems like a bit too much for my blood. But hey, it could happen.
I keep moving around. I'm sorry. We're standing, like I said.
But yeah, that's the gist of what I want to say about the Order. I think it's really fun for the most part. I think the magic of the world is interesting. There's a lot of weird legality behind it. It's a very pen and parcel. You have to figure out certain rules and regulations to do magic in a weird way, which I think is hilarious. Because, I don't know, that just hits me in a fun way. Because magic is supposed to be such a wild force. And then the only way to use it is to be real strict and stringent with it.
Well, I mean, that would make sense, I feel like. If you want to use it in a way that you're careful and that you don't hurt anything or yourself.
No, it makes sense. That's what I'm saying. I like it. I think that's very interesting. I always appeal to that because there's also that other idea of just another potential use for magic is to just release the chaos, and that's super cool too. And those two, that dichotomy is such an interesting factor for me. And I love that in any world building magical nonsense. So yeah, I really like the world. I really like the way the magic works for the most part. And I mean, anything with werewolves is gonna get my my seal of approval, because I'm a big werewolf loving kind of guy.
And there's not very many shows with werewolves in them.
No, there's one called Bitten that I've never seen. I don't think I probably will anytime soon.
You know, I've seen clips, and my mom watched it, so that just tells me I'm not gonna like it.
There's bound to be one I don't like, so hopefully it's that one. Overall, I think it's a surprisingly decent one of these soap opera-esque, drama-filled teens with supernatural abilities. Well, early 20s people with supernatural abilities. So yeah, I really quite enjoyed it. What about yourself? I know you like season 2 better, so.
I enjoyed it. There were parts that were kind of cheesy and silly, but they did have parts that were actually pretty funny, and I wouldn't say heartfelt, but they had bits and pieces that made me really like a character. So, like, I would recommend it to somebody to watch. It's good. It's just I don't think it's for everyone.
No. If you're looking for something kind of cheesy and something kind of along the realms of Vampire Diaries, Supernatural,
something
that sort
just
of thing.
fun and kind of light, and that you don't have to pay too much attention to.
Yeah, it would be great for that. It'd be great for that itch of melodrama in your life. And season 3 is gonna be coming out sometime, and I'm excited to watch it. Honestly.
Yes. This is unrelated. Season 4 of Wynonna Earp has come out. We do not have cable, so we can't watch it right now. But we will be watching that.
Hell yeah. Eventually. And it's going to be so exciting. I'm so pumped. So many of those characters are so good. I'm excited to see Jeremy again.
I'm excited to see Doc again.
I know. But anyways, you should, if you are into that sort of thing, the kind of show that we've described, give The Order a try. I think you'll find it entertaining at the very least. But yeah, that's all I've got for this week.
Yeah, that's it. Stay safe.
Yeah.
Wear a mask.
Yeah,
Wear a mask, for God's sake.
Things have gotten worse somehow.
Yes, somehow.
So follow the law, wear a mask, and support other human beings by being not a dick about it.
I understand if some people, are uncomfortable wearing a mask, or if, some people have PTSD or, like, anxiety, which wearing a mask is highly uncomfortable. But I had this conversation with a friend a little while ago, and if, I don't want to get too deep into it because I don't want to, be that kind of
Don't want to air your dirty laundry.
Yes. But if you are unable to wear a mask for your safety and for other people's safety, you can, go online or on your phone and get apps for groceries and for food and, for anything that you need.
It might add to your weekly expense, but it's nowhere near as much as a treatment for being actually ill with corona or any other possible flu-like symptoms at this time. So just, take the expense now and keep yourself safe.
Yes. And also don't forget that Black Lives Matter and keep pushing forward towards that. And good Lord, 2020 has been
it's been a
crazy
weird time.
ride. It's had its downs, with COVID, the Rona, but it kind of its ups with like people actually trying to fight for human rights.
It's not great that they have to, but I love to see change. I do. And it's hard to get change when you protest peacefully. Sometimes you need to fuck shit up for things to change, and we've seen that. There's been more legal alterations to human rights in the past few months than there has been in the years.
And I know there's a lot of things coming out of the protests that are unsavory, like what's happening in Portland right now, and people being arrested when they're just sitting on a lawn with a cardboard sign. But be safe, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Be safe.
Yep. We'll talk to you guys next week about God knows what, but it'll be fun, hopefully.
Yes. Ending with a light note, you know.
Bye.
Bye. Maple, you dead?